Oh, hey, awesome. We're back. Yeah, how you doing? We are here at Meltdown Comics Hollywood, and we're running the Kickstarter campaign for Frameless. So thank you for joining us again. We actually wanted to talk about how we've been connecting with the artists.
Yeah.
Because we were at Wizard World earlier this year in Las Vegas, and we became the Frameless people. They knew us. Everybody knew us.
Yeah, we had the brightest and most standout booth at the con.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way, if you couldn't tell.
We had it painted for us. We had it all decorated and docked out. We had kits, and you saw earlier we actually showed you the booth and kind of how the booth is set up right now. But we wanted to talk about something that's very important to us, and that's how we've been connecting with artists, because we're finding that artists are probably going to be the ones to benefit the most from Frameless in general.
Whether they're at a comic convention or any kind of con, but at galleries too. Local events, flea markets, and swap meets and stuff. Artists look for ways to sell their art anywhere. What I mean?
This is one of the artists that we actually had a chance to get some artwork from, Greg Horn. And he has amazing, beautiful artwork.
Just
and
gorgeous. I mean, look at this Wonder Woman,
And what we found a lot of the artists that were struggling with getting their art really out there. And by that, I mean a lot of people are walking through the cons and they're looking at the art and they're picking it up and like, wow, I really love this. This thing is awesome. Whether it be something that is a a random Spider-Man thing or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or just a new unique kind of art they've never seen before.
Yeah, or like mashups of stuff that people haven't seen before. Star Wars mashed up with Guardians of the Galaxy, or like John Carpenter movie posters, like really unique stuff that's like almost minimalistic and things like that. Or just any artwork in general. People come by these artist booths and they pick up the artwork and they're like, wow, man, I really want this. And then they end up, the artist is like, oh, well, do you want it? And the person's like, I don't have no more room on my wall.
And they literally just set it down and then they walk away. And there was one artist, what was it, Whitney?
Yeah,
Whitney's ridiculously nice, super cool. She stopped by the booth a few times. She gave us some artwork to show on her wall. And I had mentioned that on Friday. And she's like, oh, okay, and she understood what I was talking about. Yeah. And on Sunday, when she was leaving, she even stopped by to say before she left, she goes, yeah, I heard that probably a half a dozen times,
since
from
the
people.
Time that we had talked to her.
Yeah, that people that just, were picking it up and were looking at it, and they were just like, I got no room on the wall. And they were setting it down, they were leaving. And it was a big focus for us to be able to do Frameless in such a way so that artists, you could go out and you could get all of your art. You could get it collected. And you could switch it out with Frameless, because I mean it's really the perfect way to put your art, prints, comics, posters on the wall. But a lot of that stuff is indie. A lot of that stuff, this right here again is Greg Horn, but this is a Jay and Silent Bob one, and any of you guys that know Kevin Smith,
comics.
If you know Kevin Smith, he is indie all the way, and he has the advantage of having a pretty decent name to himself, but a lot of these artists don't. So we actually were able to stop by there to their comic shop and pick up here we go, and pick it up from them themselves. We didn't get a chance to meet Kevin Smith, but we did get a chance to talk to their staff and kind of pick their brain, and they were loving what they were seeing.
Yeah, then we gave them our first prototype.
And we just found that a lot of the indie comic books, we have another one is Madeline. She does the Boston Metaphysical Society, has several successful Kickstarters, and we have some of her comics that we have Frameless that she's like, yeah, this is great. We also have artists that are online on our Artist Alley, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to be able to connect with artists and be able to feature their stuff. We have Lisa and Paul. They're a couple of the artists, and Julia and Tobias. And they're on our Frameless Artist Alley. They're like, yeah, we want to get on board with that. They've been signing up, and we're showing off their artwork, and with the goal of exposing them and getting them out there to more people that are across the country that have never seen their stuff before, but also to really kind of pave the way to bring back art prints. Art prints aren't going the wayside, but you know, if you look online, you still have a lot of the daily t-shirt websites. Those are doing really well because people get them, they get them out of the bag, they put them on, and they're happy.
Yeah, and you can just wear them straight out the bag if you really want to, if you're not, you know, into washing your clothes right away. But
I gotta wash my clothes. I gotta do it. I can't just put it straight in the bag. But
I like the feel of a new t-shirt smell, but you know what I mean.
I
Understand,
like
you know,
it
people gotta wash your clothes. But with this, you don't have to wash it. You just
you don't want
take
to
it
wash
out.
it. Don't
you take it out of the package.
Don't wash.
Yeah,
your
don't
art
wash
prints.
your frameless or your art prints. That's not how you respect the art.
Yeah, but with that being said, though, there's a lot of great artwork out there that they're trying to sell it online. They're trying to get their name out there, and they're really not. They're having a hard time getting that footing because people are like, my wall is full, and so Frameless perfectly handles that and allows it to complement your wall, but also switch it out as you see fit. When you have an artist who you just love, who you're swapping out new stuff from, you know, they'll be able to know that when the artist sent out, that it's going on the wall. It's being sent out, you know, but possibly with frameless kits, you can take it out of the tube because it unrolls beautifully and then just goes right into the frameless kit. And if you already have something in there, then, you know, just pull that out, put the new one in there, and put it right back up on your wall. So we actually have some artwork from some artists that we had a chance to meet at Wizard World in our booth. We're going to go over to that in a couple minutes. But it's something that I feel that a lot of the artists need right now is the ability to know that someone else is looking out for them. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's
Big Frame isn't looking out for the artists.
No.
Big Frame's is looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, you know, Frameless is I think what everyone forgets with frames is that it's just a frame. That's all it is. You know, you take this out and it's just a plastic slipcover with the pieces. With the pieces in the back. There's no image in there yet, and neither is a frame. A frame doesn't. You have to have the art to put in there, and we want to connect with the artist to cater to them to allow that art to shine.
Yeah, because it's not just about the consumer, because obviously we want the product. I mean, that's why we're launching this Kickstarter today, and we want to be able to provide, you know, the consumer with Frameless, but also the artist, because they have expressed they want to sell this at their booth in combination with selling their art. That way, you know, their fans can go home and immediately put it on the wall without hesitation.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to, you know, set it off to the side, let it collect dust until they have time to go to a framing store, and then, you know, make sure they have the money to get a custom frame, because you don't know what they'll end up, you know, needing to do for that particular image, because every image requires, you know, different matting or, you know, color schemes and things like that, and it's just bulky. I mean, I remember seeing this custom framed Maleficent poster. It was huge, just gigantic, and it weighed so much money. And honestly, it looked gorgeous, but it's like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
like the frame was like this thicker all the way around. It weighed like, it had to be 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, it was just ginormous.
Oh yeah, you've got I know you've got a custom frame at your house.
Yeah.
That is a Peter Pan, and it's
yeah,
a frame. And it's
I
giant.
love it, but it's not moving. Can't change it out, and I wouldn't for the world.
And I mean,
But
it's mounted with the wires, and
oh yeah,
you know,
it's really heavy. I mean, if that thing falls off the wall, it's gonna either get damaged or break, or destroy other things in the process when it falls off the wall.
And I think the last thing the artist wants is to worry that their art is going to go to someone's house and then fall off the wall or get damaged, or something's going to happen to it. And you know, because they're creating this is their dream and their vision, and it's a work of art for them.
Yeah.
And it's really hard when you put your heart and soul into something, and then you sell the product, but don't have no idea to know if it's going on someone's wall or if it's sitting in a closet. And that's not the point of art. Art is supposed to go on the wall. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And
it's
Frameless,
supposed to be shown off.
Frameless allows artists a chance to do things they can't do anywhere else, and that is to create art that is meant to work together, to be connected together, to be seamless, to flow. You know, Greg could take something like this if he wanted to, and he could basically do a massive collage of all the characters from Batman versus Superman, And he could do that.
take a huge image, like a battle image of like the villains going against like the heroes, and he could actually break it up into multiple images and layer them over on top of each other to create one massive collage and, you know, vary the depths, almost making it like 3D. And that's possible with this. You can't do that with frames.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think a lot of artists are starting to see that too, where they're starting to see, wow, I can do this. And there's you know, we're looking to work with some high schools in Las Vegas to get some kids who, you know, there is one sole focus, and that is to take like a line and draw a line through 10, 11 by 17 pieces of, you know, art paper, and then say, okay, do whatever you want, but make sure all these lines connect in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and the lines have to be incorporated into each of the images.
Some things could be abstract, some things could be seamless, but it is art that could never be shown in any other way. And Frameless allows that. Frameless allows the art to be displayed in a way that really was, you know,
it's unique, it's versatile, it
virtually impossible to show it off in that way, aside from something like Frameless.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at least nicely, as you know, because otherwise it's tax and putty.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have, you know, things blocking the images from connecting together.
Yeah.
And other uses for it that also include the collaging effect are, you know, family photos.
Yeah.
You know, being able to take, you know, a giant family photo that maybe you guys take every year and, you know, breaking it up into multiple ones, and then, you know, you can just have this giant collage of your family, or create a family tree on your wall to show like the different ancestors and,
absolutely,
you know, people splitting off and forming their own families. It could be a really awesome project. Or as you can see behind us, like you could take one image and turn it into multiple images.
Kind of jumbotron the image.
A big image of, you know, like Dr. Doom back there.
Or could you imagine, you know, you've got a family reunion and you have grandma who just turned 95 and she's got great grandkids. She's got family out the wazoo, and you're able to get in close and do a panoramic image of the entire family.
Yeah.
And you're able to cut that up and turn that into Frameless that kind of staggers on the wall. You know, and maybe next year there's a new one, and then you just take one of those off and you put the new one in there.
Different families,
you know,
and how they all end up, you know, combining into the one massive big family.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that would be a great gift for grandma. You know,
like. Yeah, we're gonna when we get a chance, we're gonna hop over to Richard in the booth, and we're gonna talk with him. He's gonna talk about how some of the artists were showing off their stuff, because it's really cool that they were able to give us art that we could use, that we could show off, and they were okay with that. And at the end of it,
because the whole thing was like cross-marketing. You know, it's like, hey, you know, would you mind us, borrowing some of your art for the weekend, and we'll put it up on a display, and we'll have your card, and we'll send people to the booth. And people did go to the booth. You know, they bought their artwork.
Yeah, no, they're you know, let's go over to Richard right now, and we'll let him talk about how we utilize that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so as you can see, same prints that were behind me earlier today, but I'm going to talk about the artist that gave these to us. This was given to us by Greg Horn at the Las Vegas WizardCon not too long ago. We went around on Friday and we talked to all of the artists in the convention. We asked them if they would let us borrow some of their prints. And instead of decorating our booth with our own personal collection like we did on Friday, Saturday morning we came in early and we decorated the entire booth with nothing but art from artists at that convention. Referred people to those artists, and they had a pretty good turnabout from that. Because of the kind of goodwill and gratitude that we've been trying to cultivate with artists, Greg actually gave us prints that he couldn't otherwise sell. Maybe there's a tiny scratch in the corner, some kind of imperfection. But he gave us these 3 prints, those 3 Marvel prints over there, and they're beautiful works of art, and we can show them to you now. And that's what we're trying to do with artists. We're trying to network with them, say their name as much as possible, and get as much attention on them as possible, because artists are the reason we're selling this. We're selling this product so you can display your favorite things. Our favorite things are art prints, comics, pictures of our family, things like that. Over here, we have another print in the corner of Deadpool and Spider-Man by Mustafa Musa, who was also at that convention. He let us borrow this print, and we liked it so much we actually bought it later on that day. And just to the left of it, we have a print that's one of Trina's personal collection, the Wolverine print, and it's surrounded by all these Wolverine comics that are also a part of her collection. Now with normal frames, you can't do that. You can't achieve this kind of layering, you can't collage your work, you can't display it in an interesting way. Everything would have to be stacked, one right next to the other, not overlapping one another. Nothing interesting, nothing fun. Like these Asylum comics, just below. The Asylum comics are layered one over the other to fit 6 in the space where only 4 would have fit before. That's an entire collection, an entire run of John Carpenter comics right there. Back over here on the Try Me wall, again we've got Boba Fett. Now, if you remember, the frameless kits work very simply. The spine structures on the back lock into the center spine lock, and they can slip right onto the wall. It doesn't matter what kind of artwork you've got. You can fit frameless on the wall, vertically, horizontally. You can mount it upside down if you want. You don't have to mount it from the top. You can mount it from the bottom. And because you can mount it from the bottom, you can achieve things like this. You can use space in a way you've never used it before, and you can display things on your wall you've never been able to display before. We just got a new donation. Thank you so much. How many are we up to now, guys? They're going to tell me in a minute.
13 when we last checked.
13 backers now. We're over $1,000, which is fantastic. Thank you so much to all of our backers. We're not going to be able to get this product to all of you without your help. So that's all for our booth. If
How does an artist get involved with Frameless?
all an artist has to do is go to frameless.com or don'tcageyourart.com or framelessed.com, and you'll find a place called Artist Alley, or you can sign up with us and become an artist in Artist Alley, and
There's a form right on there.
there's a form right on there. I'm not very digitally proficient. I'm about as computer literate as a Wolverine on crack.
Is the artwork protected inside a Frameless kit?
The artwork is very protected inside a frameless kit. As again, you can see with Boba Fett here, this is a really strong, rigid plastic. It's abrasion resistant. Nothing's going to scratch it from the front. We decided to put a comic board in the back to protect it on the back as well. It also keeps it nice and rigid, keeps it protected, keeps spiders out, which is very important. Frameless of every size is protected that way. Dust doesn't get into them. Insects don't get into them. Sunlight, UV protection, just a little bit, and you can write on them with dry erase markers. Remember Boba Fett?
Can you do it on the Final Fantasy ones then, so it's white?
Sure. I was there, and you can tell because there's a dry erase marker. But if I want to, I can just erase that right off of it, and you'll never know I was there. Will and Trina, we're going back to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, just want to reiterate what Richard said. You know, we're so excited to be over $1,000 already for our Kickstarter, and you know we can't do it without you guys. So make sure that you're sharing the Kickstarter on Twitter, on Facebook, tagging your friends and family who you think would be interested in it, or just make sure that you're sharing it with the world, because we can't hit our goal if we guys don't share it.
Yeah.
And the goal is to be able to share this with everyone and not just ourselves.
Yeah, and the pledges are really simple. We have the comic book size kits, which fit for the modern comic books, and we have the 11x17 kits, and each of the kits come with standard with the spines, the horizontal and the vertical spines, which are 4 pieces right there total.
Yep. You end up getting the 4 spine pieces, the vertical ones, the horizontal ones. They each have the interlocking mechanisms that allow them to slide and lock in place.
And the center spine locks that they connect into. And then we also have
the wall mount that you nail into the wall that has slotted nail holes so that they'll be anchored into the wall.
And the comic book size fits the modern comic books. The kit comes with nails, so you don't have to. The only item you have to buy is a hammer. So if you don't have a hammer, then why are you hanging stuff on your wall anyway?
What are you using? Were you using like a rolling pin to like knock stuff into the wall?
But that's it. I mean, it comes with the nails. It comes with everything. So the full kit, everything is included.
Yeah, you get the sleeve, the 4 spine pieces, and the center spine lock, and then the wall mount so you can put it on the wall. That is one full kit.
We are looking at potentially down the road utilizing certain Velcro, which will be good for dorms as well as people that have concrete in their homes, apartments and concrete.
You know, places where it's kind of iffy to put nail holes in the walls because you have to patch them up.
Yeah,
so we are looking into doing different methods of hanging them on the wall so they'll still be secure.
If you've ever seen those, they call them command strips or they call them pedal board tape. And basically what it is instead of Velcro, which has a little hook end and then it has a little furry end and that grabs that, and over time it'll start to break down. The pedal board or the command strips, what they do is they have they're like little prongs that almost have mushroom heads that connect to each other, and they're very strong. And that's one of the ideas that we're currently looking into to allow people in dorm rooms, in apartments who don't want to put nails in their wall, as opposed to hanging it that way. So the different sizes we have, the comic book again, we have
popular.
This one right here. We have the 1-in-1, which is one comic book and one 11x17. That one right there will basically get you everything you see here with comic 11x17, so that you can have one of each. That's $32. From there, then we also have the 3-pack and the 3-pack of each of these for 5% off. We have a 5-pack and a 5-pack for 10% off. Then we have the 2 and the 2, and that one is $60. And that'll get you 2 comics and 2 11x17s. The ones that we're really proud of, though, are the variety packs that pretty much everybody has been selecting as they've been backing us.
Yeah, because who just has one comic or one print to put on the wall?
And I think honestly, you really don't know what you're going to want to hang until you get them.
Yeah.
And those ones start at $100 and they go up. You'll get 10% off, and it goes 15%, 20%.
So
25,
obviously,
30.
The trend here is that the more you buy, the more you save.
Yeah. So if you're a shop and you want to purchase some and you want to sell it with your artwork, or you want to sell it with at your store, you can do that because you will get a discount.
You can buy in bulk from us by pledging to the Kickstarter, and then you could sell with your artwork, whether you're an artist or a comic book store owner or all the above. If you're an administrator at a school and you want to order some for prom or homecoming to give out to the kids as they're leaving the dance, by all means,
Yeah, and the best part is that we ship everywhere. So if you're overseas, if you're across the world, you can get these kits. Right now we have on the Kickstarter, it'll actually tell you and calculate the shipping for you up to the first variety pack, the $100 one. Then after that, the shipping will be added in once all the pledges are collected. But we already have the numbers for all of that. So yeah.
We have a shipping table for
Yep. So if you live in the UK, if you live in Australia, and this is really just the beginning, and that's what we really want to stress so much, is that these kits are just the beginning. We've been getting a lot of messages from people that have other sizes that say, I have 24 by 36, I have 27 by 40, 13 by 19, I have 8 by 10, I have 5 by 7. Will there be these sizes? And the answer is absolutely yes.
People want to put Frameless on their records, vinyls and LPs and things like that.
Use them for records. We have additional other things that we'll be able to unlock that will give you better functionality with displaying certain, I don't know, maybe some toys, certain things that have always been in a box that have never been able to see the light of day because you've never had a good way to show it off, or you've had to,
stack them on top of each other on a shelf.
Which is just not
instead of being able to put them on the wall.
And really the 50,000 that we were asking for with the Kickstarter is just the beginning. That allows us to get the 11 by 17 to you. It allows us to get the comic book to you. But really, we have plans well past that. And the bracket pieces.
We've prototyped for other sizes, and we're starting with the modern New Age comic book size and the 11 by 17 because they're the most popular. Yeah. It's what is most in demand right now, and that's what we want to provide. And if we can blow past our goal, then we can open up other sizes. And we want to hear from you guys. What sizes do you have? Leave comments on the Kickstarter. Send us messages on Facebook or through Twitter. We'll respond to you guys. Like, we want to know these things. We want your feedback about what you have in your collection. Send pics of your artwork. what do you want a Frameless?
Yeah. Post that on social media. Take your comic books and take your 11x17s and spread them out on your bed and show us what you want to
or on
frame.
your
Show us the
floor.
displays you want to do.
Yeah.
Put that on our social media. We're gonna show the world of what you want to do, of the kind of creativity that you have that you'd never been able to do before. And when we start unlocking the bracket pieces, we're gonna be able to. You're going to be able to
do the collaging effect that that everybody wants to do, and that's what gives you the ability to utilize more of your wall space than you can now with with the traditional frame. You can't do that with a traditional frame. You have to put them right next to each other, and it looks awkward, and it's not right. It's not what the artist intends for their artwork. And this way, you'll be able to use more of your wall space. You'll be able to put all of your artwork on the wall if you want to. You can cover all 4 walls of one room if you want to, and all of your art and comics and what have you.
And before we close, we just wanted to say that we know that a lot of artists out there are really excited for Frameless, and we know that a lot of you guys want to be able to show off your stuff. You want to use it at booths. You want to be able to get your artwork out there more so. And because the Frameless brand with the Kickstarter is going worldwide, in the sense that people are asking for it, we encourage you, if you have artwork that has been damaged or has been torn or something that you're just going to be throwing out that you can't sell because
it's got like a bent corner or something
for
like
whatever
that.
reason, you can give it into home with Frameless. If you have some stuff that you want to give to us, you can package it, send it out. We'll pay for the shipping, and then we'll show it on our displays. We'll show it to everyone that we had, the art that you sent out to us.
We plan to do photo shoots with the artwork that we're gathering from artists, and highlighting them on our Facebook page and making them a part of our artist alley.
Yeah.
As featured artists, it's all about cross marketing. We want to help the artist, and and they help us.
And this is really famous. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, yeah, you see artwork in here right now, but it's perfect for church groups. It's perfect for school clubs. It's perfect for
displaying all kinds of any kind of material, like paper material.
Yeah, I mean, as you've seen, there were the Richard was over there and he was drawing on it, with a dry erase marker.
These would be great for teachers if you're trying to teach like math to students. You can slide in the math worksheet and they can use dry erase on it. Instead of having to go through the graphics department and laminating and wasting paper and wasting copies and wasting plastic, you could just have one Frameless and put the math sheet in there, and you can switch it out as need.
Yeah.
And then draw on it without like leaving stains on it like you do with like the sheet protectors.
Yeah, and I know we got a question. Robert's asking if Robert Castro is asking if this presses on, if the spine presses on the comics, and we actually will be shipping all of them with material to go in between the comic and this, so that you won't have to worry that it's going to scratch it
or make an indentation of any kind.
Because we know that you want to show off your prize artwork, your prize comics, and the last thing you want is to take it out and see an indentation. And we're actually very sensitive about that. So we
have plenty of comics ourselves that we don't want to get damaged in the process.
And the nice thing about that is when these ship, we're going to have product in between, or something in between the tube and this, to keep it nice and smooth. And that's a perfect opportunity to send you guys
something to use as a backing to protect your art and your comics too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you're an artist, reach out to us, talk to us, sign up to our artist alley. Let us know that you want us to show off your art. We even have artists that don't do traditional art that want us to show off their stuff. And we're currently developing new pieces to show off other kinds of artwork that you don't often see.
Yeah, like artwork on metal, or we have a spray paint artist that we got in contact with that we're going to be doing some testing with to see if we can utilize Frameless with his art, because he paints on board.
Yeah.
And
so if you're a street vendor and you have boards,
it's a good rigid material. So I mean, it would definitely hold up in Frameless. But we're going to see if it can be utilized for that kind of art as well.
And that's the idea, is to test all these things out, and we're listening to you guys. We're listening to your comments, your feedback, and your suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, we want all of it. We want to hear what your thoughts are. If you guys love it, if you have any suggestions for improvement, I mean, go to the Kickstarter page. Share the Kickstarter with your friends and family. Make sure you're tagging people who would be interested on it on your different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure that if you do have questions or feedback, just go to the comments, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and the important thing to know too is that it's a Kickstarter, and in Kickstarter it's all or nothing. So if everything is raised, then you all get your kits.
Yeah.
If we're not going to jump the gun and raise money and say, oh, we can't deliver for you, that's not how we run. We are going to give this to you guys.
Yeah, we've already thoroughly prototyped like multiple sizes. We are just starting with the comic book size in 11 by 17s because they're the most popular and in demand. But by all means, if we, when we hit our goal with the help of you guys out there, we'll be able to unlock the stretch goals that will be for other sizes, 8 by 10s for your movie stills and sizes for movie posters and, family photos and things like that. We want to be able to provide those things for you. Keep going to the Kickstarter page and
bring
sharing.
your friends in. Do all that, and know too that now is a time to pledge. Now is a time to pledge. So because if you don't pledge now, then you're gonna miss the Kickstarter. And if you wait until the end of the Kickstarter will not be as high as it's going to be because your pledge is gonna make a difference. People are gonna say, oh, everyone's pledging in this. I want to pledge into this, and that's how we reach the stretch goals. That's how we have the Frameless movement, by doing these things. So I know we've actually got a guest that we're going to bring in pretty soon here. What we're pretty excited about. He's a good friend of ours. We've known him for a long time. He's he does a lot of music videos. If you're fans of Good Charlotte, what is it? What's the video? Makeshift Love?
Makeshift, I believe so.
Makeshift Love. He was hand selected to bring back.
To do their comeback video.
Yeah, to kind of bring him back with the music video. And I don't know about you guys, but I like Good Charlotte. So I've kind of always liked Good Charlotte, and I've always felt like, should I like Good Charlotte? Should I not? And then when Jake was doing that, I was like,
Good Charlotte's great, man.
It's nice to like Good Charlotte. I'm happy about that. And Jake's an indie artist too. So let's get him in here.
if we can, if it's one of those things where we just he's out at
so we're hearing that he's out at the car getting gear because he's going to be filming tonight.
Yeah, he's actually going to be doing some cinematography stuff for us.
If you've never heard of Jake Stark, you need to go right now.
He's doing his own Indiegogo.
He's doing an Indiegogo for a Cold Night. We actually filmed the movie a little over a year ago, and Jake was the first AD on the movie, and our lead actor is actually going to be in this short that Jake is filming. Which, if you've ever, his name is Dusty Sorg. He's been in a lot of TV shows. He's been in a lot of commercials. He was on John Carter of Mars, and Jake has been a character. But he's actually putting together some video clips for us here and gonna very artistically do it. So you're gonna get to see the Jake style. And if you want to see a really good artist, IamJakeStark.com is where you can go to see all of his stuff.
Yeah. Here's the sleeve.
Yeah.
For the comic books, you can see that there is an extra section of plastic to allow for the thickness of a comic that wraps around it.
1/16 of an inch.
And then, the slots for where the spine pieces slip in with their curved areas.
Yeah. And Meltdown Comics has been so nice letting us have our launch party here and show off
building
to you
our
guys.
booth in the middle of their store.
Yeah, no, they've been really, really cool about that, and they just catered to us every step of the way. They've allowed us to do some tweaks and modifications, and usually they just have one area that they film in, and then in here, they brought the cameras out. We brought some lights out. So let's go to Richard. We just got another donation. Ooh, yeah.
Woohoo!
So
There's the wall mount.
Yep.
So we just got another donation, a $300 donation or pledge. Thank you so much for pre-ordering Frameless, because once we hit our mark, we don't look at these as pledges or donations. This is not something you're doing on speculation. You're pre-ordering the kits. These kits already work. This is already a functioning product. It's perfect and it's ready to go. And we're so happy to be here and share it with you. If you're just getting here and you're just seeing this for the first time, I want to show you, this is not a green screen. This is a real booth. This is our booth, built in Meltdown Comics. They've been really nice. They let us clear a lot of floor space out and build the booth that we tour conventions with here. These are all prints that we have picked up from comic book conventions or have in our own personal collection that are on display here, and we're showing you how we like to display art prints. Instead of going with a bulky frame, instead of using tacks or tape or putty to mount things to the wall, we're using our frameless kit. Just give me 1 second, stay right there. If you haven't seen it before, this is what the frameless kit looks like. It's a perfectly transparent plastic sleeve that protects your artwork. On the back, it's a series of spines that connect to brackets which connect to the wall. They allow you to layer your artwork, create a distance between the artwork and the wall itself. You can control that distance and you can achieve collages like that. We've got a question right now. How many possible depths are there with Frameless? Currently, only one, just up on the wall. But as we start reaching our stretch goals, we're going to unlock brackets. Those brackets are what's going to allow you to create this depth and make Frameless really, really come into its own. And at that point, about 2.5 inches from the wall, 8 levels of depth. The most we've ever used in our booth is 4. What could you do with 8? We created a heart-shaped collage for Valentine's Day. It was very, very impressive. And that only used 4 levels of depth. Actually, I lied, we're using 6. If you look just over there, we have 6 different comics at 6 levels of depth. These John Carpenter Asylum comics coming off the wall, all the way into the corner. 6 comics fit in the space where you could only fit 4 before. Now, if you take a look at all these different prints, we're making it a point to try and work with artists. We don't just want to cater to people that love art. We want to cater to people that make art as well. So we work with artists at the conventions to try and promote their work at the same time as getting people more aware of Frameless. We have another question. Oh, someone's asking about our Final Fantasy VII image. So this is an image, speaking of artists that we want to connect with, someone online made this fantastic image. We don't know who it is. If you're watching this, or if you know who did this, please get in touch with us because we would like to buy this image from him so that we can stop using it for free. We found it online, and it's amazing. Our awesome tech guy, Dan, cut it into 3 separate images that we could then put into our 11x17 kits and layer over one another to create this awesome image using the negative space both above and below it to just kind of show off how Frameless works. Up over here, you can see we've done the same thing with our Marvel collection by Greg Horn. He's another fantastic artist that we saw at Wizard World in Las Vegas. And at the end of the event, we connected with him, and he gave us these prints to display. So in return for giving us those prints, we're going to say his name a lot, Greg Horn. We want to connect with all the artists out there in the world. So if you have prints that are damaged, if you're just going to throw them away, don't throw them away. Find our website, frameless.com, framelessed.com. Go to the About Us section, get our address, mail us your prints. We will display them, and we will promote you as much as humanly possible. We want to create more content, take more photographs of our material, and really, really feature your work, because the more work you sell, the more successful we can all be. Keep going. So if you look over here at this collage, you'll notice that Batman is in a landscape, the Joker and the Flash are in portrait. Frameless allows you to lock your bracket into the back of this kit, here or here, hang it this way, hang it this way. You can mount that bracket into any level along here, which means you can hang this at the wall from this point or from this point, and you can space it off the wall up to 2.5 inches. If you watch our video on frameless.com, it'll show you all of that. It'll display all of that. Up there we have the Superman comic and the Superman Wonder Woman comics. I think they're the same comic. I think they're the same issue, but one of them is done in landscape, the other one is done in portrait. And because of the unique system for mounting Frameless, we've been able to display them in a very, very unique way. Will and Trina, what's going on in the booth?
A little
push.
It's too thick.
It is too thick, but it's the
we're
same
back
size. Hey guys, so
Welcome back.
we are back, and we just learned something really, really cool. Everyone, hold up your issues. So, if you notice here, this is The Walking Dead. And I was just made aware of this because I watched The Walking Dead as a TV show, and I'm familiar with the comics, and I'm frustrated by certain decisions that are made. But that's not really what's important here. What's important is, are you aware that every trade paperback of The Walking Dead, if you put them side by side, they tell there's a continuous...
And the artwork on the covers.
Yeah. They all connect.
That's right. You Vanna White that, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Which is brilliant. And we don't have... in the onset, the size of a trade paperback, but if our Kickstarter gets funded and we push a little past that, I could see that being a stretch goal. So all of you guys that are Walking Dead fans out there could potentially paint your walls right next to your ceiling instead of crown molding, which I'm not gonna lie is nice, but is overrated. Wouldn't The Walking Dead
be better as molding for your house?
Yes. Just a consistent, long, panoramic Walking Dead wrap going around your bedroom.
The top of your ceiling.
That is the proper kind of crown molding that
Yes,
I want.
proper.
Yep.
It's proper molding.
So here we have Jacob Stark.
Oh, yeah.
And Jake and I go way back. Way back. Like working together back. And we actually a long time ago did a little web series ourselves called Real Spoiled, where we had a lot of fun with that. It was different. It was interesting. But Jake has gone on to become a very talented filmmaker, and he does amazing media. Jake, talk about yourself a little bit. Tell us who is Jacob Stark.
Who are you?
Well, more than just a cool last name. Actually, I'm not. That's it. That's all I got going for me.
That's all you got?
No, I'm a music video director. I do a lot of music videos, and it's very fun, and I thoroughly enjoy my job.
What's the most recent music video that you did that people would know about?
I directed Good Charlotte's comeback video that they had, and so
What's
that's
the song
playing.
title for the people out there to go look it up?
Makeshift Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how many views does it have right now?
I have no idea, but they're playing it in Australia before The Voice right now, like on broadcast.
See,
Oh,
and
wow,
all of
that's
you
cool.
Australians who want Frameless kits, because I know some of you out there do, you'll recognize Jacob Stark's work, and you'll be able to say, "Hey, I know who that guy belongs in Australia." Because you look kind of like an Australian, actually.
You know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But everything in Australia is out to kill you, so I'm really not.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier about
You got
how
the snakes, the scorpions,
yeah.
and the great
like,
white sharks, and the crocodiles.
how pests can't get into Frameless. They
Yeah.
wouldn't be attracted to Frameless because
Because
of
have
the
you ever
lack of
found like a
wood.
little spider inside your frame?
I got bit by a spider 5 times last night. I'm
5
just letting
times?
You know. Just
Did a
letting
sti-
you know.
Like, did you watch the spider bite you 5 times?
Here's a trick. No, I didn't watch him do it. I'd be very upset and have very much long, thorough conversation with the spider. No, you heat up. You take a tea kettle, and if you don't have a tea kettle, I feel disappointed, and I'm very sorry for you. You take a tea kettle, and you heat it up, you pour water into a mug, and you put spoons in the mug, okay? And then when that spoon heats up by the boiling hot water, you press it to your skin where you have the spider bite, and it activates the proteins, and it stops it from itching. So, fun fact, the more you know.
The more.
That's good to know.
And we're all about that here. You know, we're a bunch of artists. We're a bunch of artists who are here to talk about Frameless, and we're going to bring Jake in because Jake actually has been around for the Frameless process for a while.
I have.
He
I told you your first mock-ups were good.
Yeah, no, he
I
was.
believed in you. I think that's the key point.
Yes. He was one of the first
Moral
believers.
support.
Yeah.
But which is incredibly important.
Yeah, well, you have to have that if you've
If
got
you don't
friends.
have like friends and family believing in what you're doing, then it's kind of hard to be motivated to keep doing it.
I mean, a Cold Night. I mean, who's back to Cold Night, Jake?
I don't what? Oh, my short film.
Yeah.
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 My short,
Yes,
think
you
I'm
have
one
a
of the-
short film that you have an Indiegogo for, Jake.
I think I was
You
one of
wanna
the first
pimp
ones to
yourself
back
out,
it,
right?
wasn't I?
Yeah, wasn't ready. Yeah, I have an Indiegogo for a film that's called A Cold Night. You can just search A Cold Night Indiegogo and you can look it up. And it's a short film that we're doing that's suspense and sci-fi, and it's gonna be awesome.
And honestly, don't be put off by the fact that he looks like a young Jim Henson with less of a beard.
You know?
He's a very, very talented filmmaker, and everything he does just looks beautiful and looks awesome. And Dusty is a ton of fun, and he has a great scream. Dusty's ah!
Yeah.
Dusty Scream is great, and honestly, he might actually be here later on. There's a possibility that Dusty may show up later.
Is he gonna come?
I heard a rumor. I don't know through the grapevine.
That's fine.
You know, and yeah, we could kind of get the gang together, and
Yeah.
maybe we could get him on here too, and he could talk about, I'm Dusty, yeah.
He's much more charming than me.
He
I'm like a
pulls
sack of
charming off
bricks.
really well, like a sack of bricks.
Second break.
So Jake, but the question I have for you is how would you see that you would use Frameless? I mean, you're not part
As
of
a
the Frameless.
filmmaker.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a bunch of different things you can use it for. Like before I do like films and music videos, I like to storyboard everything out, and it would be cool to have everything on like a board, like in the back. You know what I mean? And I'd be able to switch it out and look at it instead of having to flip through pages, and I can have it all on a wall.
Okay.
And go through it. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I've never done the storyboards before, but I have definitely done the shooting sequences, and usually I just do strips of paper and move them around. But storyboards are so important, so that
And
actually
it's so visual too,
Yeah.
especially with filmmaking. That's important to be able to see something like
and
that.
and that's actually I never thought about that idea. That's a brilliant idea for filmmakers to be able to use Frameless, whether it be comic book size or any really the 11x17s for big action sequences, and swap them around and say, okay, now the kissing scene has to go over here. There was just an explosion. They're gonna kiss after the explosion.
Yeah, and you can move things
Yeah.
around, wherever
like-
the mounts are.
When you watch those old like specials and you see like Walt Disney and they have all the animation, but it's all on a wall so they can show everybody in the room how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it'd be perfect for something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, we're offering. I don't know if you've had a chance to look through the Kickstarter, but right now we're offering the comic book size is $12. The 11x17 size is $20. We have the deals. We have the this is the comic book size. We got
Yeah,
that signed
by
by
Jason
signed by
Mewes
Jason
at
Mewes
Wizard World.
himself.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then this is the 11x17. And this is from Greg Horn. He's one of the independent artists that you'll see a lot at Wizard World. A lot of his stuff out there, just very, very beautiful. But yeah, we're offering. This is $12. This is the 11x17 is $20, and then we do 3-packs and 5-packs of each of those. With our 3-packs, you get 5% off. The 5-packs, you get 10% off. We have what we call the 1 and 1, and the 2 and 2, where you get one of each. The 2 and 2, you'll get 5% off. And then from there, we have the variety packs, and that's actually what would probably be something that I think you would be most interested in, because when the Kickstarter is over, you get to choose exactly what you want.
Which is good.
Yeah. So and those start at $100, but I think almost all the pledges that we have received today have been for variety packs. Which is rare. I mean, usually with the Kickstarter, the average pledge is between I think $25 or $35, with the most popular one being a little lower than that. And right now, our most popular pledge has been for $100 because that's what people send that they want. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
So Jake, thank you again for coming out. I think we're gonna wrap it up and start doing some filming
Yeah.
in a few minutes.
Let's do it.
And then maybe before you leave, we'll get to chat with you a little more.
For sure.
Yeah. So
And
thank you.
just to recap,
Yeah. So guys, go to the Kickstarter, pledge now, figure out what you want. If you don't know what you want, which of course you don't know what you want, because you're seeing all these awesome kits right now, get the variety pack, because that's really one of the best ones to get.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
Going to buffet.
but
What do I
go
want?
to the
Ice cream? Start out with ice cream. That's
go to
fine.
the Frameless buffet and just say, you know what, I want it all, and I
want it all.
I want to choose when I'm ready to eat, not before then. and frameless.com is our website, but we're on Kickstarter. You can hashtag Frameless with an ED at the end.
Yeah, past
Those
tense.
past tense. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Under
Yeah.
the handle Frameless as well. Everything is Frameless, so as long as you know Frameless, then you'll be able to get around. And I think we're like the top 20 searches in Google as well. So if you Google search Frameless, you're just going to see us plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
be
most
annoying
definitely.
might be annoying to some, but we like it.
Yes,
we like the
we
exposure.
like that being in the top of the Google search.
Yeah. So
But
stick
yeah,
it.
just remember to check out the Kickstarter page. Pick the pack or the pledge that you're most interested in, and share it with your friends and family. Tag a friend that would be interested in it as well. The whole point here is to get the word out about the Kickstarter, and so that we can reach our goal. Because without your help, won't reach our goal, and then you won't get the product that you want.
Yeah, and 50,000 is just a starting goal. There's so much more great stuff that we have that we want to give to you guys. So when, once we hit that 50,000, we're gonna start unveiling everything that we're gonna give to you. And I think your mind's gonna be blown with all the stuff we have. So thank you guys. Thank you, Jake.
Oh yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to Draw Melt. Thank you guys for watching.
A story can hell or high water about how Frameless came to be and how you can beat the man. You can beat the man.
Yeah.
You can
and
go frameless. But
we're gonna beat
we can
the
only
frame-
do it with your help. We
only
need
with your
we
help.
need to band together and become the frameless
Frameless
movement. Hold my
movement.
hand. We need to be. Imagine like you're holding my hands. We are out of the. You are holding our hands from
We all are-
afar.
From across, the internet. We
From
are holding
across the
hands
internet,
together.
from across the world.
We will join together and form the Frameless movement.
Canada, Alaska, Russia.
New
where
Zealand,
you can
Australia.
You can see Russia from Alaska. We're stretching hands across America for Frameless. So, where were we? We were talking about Frameless and how it's a revolutionary way to put your art, prints, posters, comics in the wall without needing a frame.